and it took them about 45 minutes to get into the room to actually give me the epidural. So thinking back on it, I don't even know why, like what the point of was getting the epidural, because during that 45 minutes, I went from like feeling like the transition to feeling like so much pressure in my butt, like that I had to push. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. And I couldn't really talk to anybody, and nobody was interested in talking to me at that point, because I guess they just felt like I gave up or something. So the epidural people came, they gave me the epidural. I was able to like lay down. I laid down and relaxed for like 20-30 minutes. And then I was like, Nick, I have to push. I have to push. So I had still been feeling that really, 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 really intense pressure of like my body just pushing this baby out, and like I needed to help it. So he called the nurse, and they kind of like did not take him seriously. But when they eventually did come in like 15-20 minutes later and they checked me, her head was in the vaginal canal. So, so they came, and I pushed for about 20 to 30 minutes, somewhere in there, not very long at all. And then, thankfully it wasn't very long at all. And thankfully through my epidural, I could still feel a lot of pressure, and it felt like pain to me. Like I could still feel a lot of pain. Like I didn't feel like the epidural like had enough time to settle in, or like didn't really work for me. I'm not sure. Like it definitely was a relief, but not total. So yeah, that was all of my labor and everything like that. I had like the mirror, so I got to watch Arya come out, and I pushed her. Oh, so because I had the epidural, obviously I was pushing in bed, and like I hadn't been pushing that long, but I pushed her head out, and I couldn't, for some reason her shoulders weren't coming out, or one shoulder. So they did have to like jump on top of me and help me push her out with a contraction. So I think it's called shoulder dystocia is what happened. So that was really freaky. But everything just happened so quick. So then as soon as that happened, I guess I had tore, but I didn't like feel a tear or anything like that. And they just immediately slapped her onto my chest, which I'm so grateful for. That the hospital was really good about some things, and the hospital was not really good about some things. So that was one of the good things, that they were like really, really into like that immediate skin to skin contact. So they slapped her on me, and it was like, I just remember looking at her and being like, "You're so beautiful." Like I couldn't believe how she looked. It was amazing. So up until that point, everything had been really, really, really bad. And then she came and everything was better. Gosh, I haven't like talked this all the way through in a while. So, yeah, that was amazing. It was the best thing that ever happened. So I got to hold my baby for a really long time, and my sister was in there to watch the birth, and she was just so amazed, so that was great. And then I knew that my mom was there, and Nick's mom was on the way, so I let my mom and Nick's mom come in after like we had a few moments to ourselves, and my mom was just over the moon. And when Nick's mom came in, I mean, obviously I was like going for a natural birth, and like I wanted to breastfeed and everything, so I had my breast out, and for some reason like it bothers me so much when I think about it, every single time, where my baby was trying to like work her way over to my breast, and Nick's mom kept trying to cover me up. She's very, very uncomfortable with breastfeeding, does not believe in it, but that just like, ugh. That was like I felt betrayed by her a lot of times, but I really, like, that sticks out for me as something I don't know if I can ever get over, because we had such a hard time breastfeeding, and I wonder if that had something to do with it. Probably not, but still, it was just really weird and insensitive that she did that. So I got to hold her for a really, really long time on my chest and coo with Nick and stuff like that, and that was amazing. But then they took her for a bath. I think after she was out for about 2 hours. I think they took a bath first and then weighed her. I'm not sure. It was one of the two. So they did give her a bath, and I wasn't able to go over there because I had the epidural, but my mom was there, and she, like, kept yelling at the nurse because she thought that she was getting water up her nose. So that leads me to believe that maybe that had something to do with her getting pneumonia. I don't know. That experience, it was the best experience of my life, but the actual labor part was really scary, and I felt so out of control, and just it was just miserable. And I had looked forward my whole pregnancy to the birth process, and I felt like I was robbed of that. And I know that's silly, because I know there's a lot of moms who, like, don't even get to have a vaginal birth. So I am so grateful that thankfully things didn't get to a cesarean section. But with my meeting with the new midwife, I did find out that I was not treated properly. The protocols that they followed and the things that they told me that I had to do were not what was necessary. So I had always felt like I was cheated out of the birth that I wanted. And I was.